for you for the next half hour, and Philip.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for the invite, finally.
Yeah. And next to Ann, a closet Philadelphia Flyers fan.
Lindros rules, boy, I'll tell you.
And you know what? And I had no idea, because that's my favorite team, and that you and I have actually gotten closer within the last 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah.
Sure,
you know, all of a sudden he finds out that, you know, that I do have a little bit of knowledge of sports.
Oh.
And I mean, little no.
And next to Ron is the biggest fan of the Brandon Wheat Kings. At least that would indicate by your golf.
Well, I try to be, at least. I try to go to the practices when I'm welcome.
Good. Oh. Slight shot there. When we come back, we are going to test our knowledgeable sports panel on a number of issues, one being retribution in the NHL, another being salary caps and sex in sports.
Ooh.
That and much more when This Is Sports returns. Is not the point. Your best player is now out.
Yeah, but when it comes to retribution, so we're just going to play backstreet gang kind of hockey now? I mean, is there not any kind of rules for this game? I disagree with it completely. But you know me.
No. You know, where's the competition? You know, you go up there, and as you say, it gets to be a street war.
Yeah.
You know, this is supposed to be sport for the love of the game. And then all of a sudden, bang, you know, you get this kind of crap thrown into it. I vehemently disagree with this retribution thing. That is nonsense.
I mean, if your best player's out, then, you know, everybody has to face the challenge and play a little bit harder. Isn't that the whole idea of sports?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know. It's been a while since I played sports.
But you know, okay, just to toss another thing into the mix here, there's an old adage that nice guys finish last. Mm-hmm. You know, but is that the way to be bringing up our young people? Because, you know, society on a whole has got more violent over the past 2 decades. The reason being is retribution in sports, the more liberal things as far as this so-called wrestling is concerned, and stuff like that.
I have to partially agree. I think, you know, leave Solani alone. He has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But the next time that Soleil plays against Dallas, you make him pay. He's a 2-time offender now for breaking the rules, hitting guys from behind.
Yeah, but whoa. Dallas is now really being, they're suffering. They lost their star player for 5, 6 games maybe even more. And Anaheim, where they're going to lose Soleil, like, woo-woo. Woo-woo, what is he? He's like you or I if we put on a pair of skates. We don't know what we're doing out there.
Here, here.
I think we're all in favor of that one, Kenny. I think the whole point is, like Ronnie said, I mean, if you set the standard that it's okay to go cream your star player just to get back for Modano being out, then you're just pretty much setting it, anybody up for.
We are getting, you know, a little off topic here, retribution, but it also goes hand in hand with violence in sports. Baseball, for crying out loud. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't like, you know, a guy hits a home run, the next player up, pitcher plunks him on the head. 2 innings later, the pitcher comes up to bat and he gets plunked on the head. You don't agree with that either?
No, it's not sport. Where is the sport in it?
Especially when
Mike Stackhouse, come on, tell me where the sport is in that.
Strategy. It's strategy, Mike.
Yeah.
And you know, it sets a precedence on the ice, on the field, whatever. You don't screw with us, and that's what they're trying to get across. You know what? We're gonna make you pay if you guys are gonna do that.
It comes down to last year. There was a situation last year with Modano. He was hit by Jeremy Roenick, and it was actually a clean hit. But the fact is, it was just that Dallas's best player got rocked by Jeremy Roenick. The next time Phoenix played Dallas, Darian Hatcher put his elbow through Roenick, broke his jaw, and said, that's for what you did to Mike Modano. And there are a lot of people in the hockey community that applauded that.
That's what I want to know. How do other NHL stars feel about this? Do they believe in the retribution
Modano
policy?
had to plead to his team, look, don't seek retribution on my behalf. The rest of the team wants to go out and do so. The coach has even said, you know what, if that's the way Anaheim wants to play the game, that's fine. They have good players too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I guess if that's the way they're going to play the game, that's the way it's going to be played.
Would you watch if you thought something like that was going to happen?
No, I wouldn't. I would intentionally not watch.
Absolutely, I would not watch. I agree with you. And I would like to make a forecast. I'm going to make a prediction here.
Careful, you're forecasting.
7 days?
Sorry.
No, what
Is that guaranteed Pulse weather?
No, we are not doing the Pulse News exclusive 10-day forecast, but Ron Thompson says that the most polite game in the world,
Cricket.
which is curling.
Oh.
They're going to have a fight in curling before the end of the next decade. They're going to start battling it out, duking it out on the pebbled ice.
Why?
The roaring game.
Because you just think that's the way sports is headed?
That's the way sports is headed, absolutely, yep.
Well, we have gotten to that hurry hard, kind of screaming, kind of vocal aspect of curling.
Yeah.
But that's always been there.
Yeah, I suppose.
Golf?
Golf could get
I'll
by.
tell you what, you know what, we're getting a bit off topic. In the old days, if that had happened 30 years ago, your star player gets hit from behind, there'd be no suspension. The players would deal with it.
Old-time hockey coach?
And I think that the thing that's happened now is a player knows he can sort of get away with that type. He's going to be suspended for 10 games, but he's not going to feel the personal pain that, I mean, but he could have broke his neck.
Well, I think the suspensions have to be a little bit more heavy and enforced, and therefore act as a deterrent.
Like, what's 10 games to Soleil? Nothing. He's
10 games
fine.
probably isn't anything, but the 100,000 might be, and that's what, I mean, because he's going to get suspended without.
Well, there you go again, and that's what we're going to be talking about is our next topic is money's ruling this industry.
Very good. You know what? That is a very good segue. You may host the show.
Thank you.
Because we have to put a wrap on this topic. When we come back, we're going to talk about salary caps and should there be salary caps in pro sports when this is sports.
You can do everything.
Welcome back to the show. We talked about Dallas Stars retribution and we got into curling somehow. So what can we do with this topic? Salary caps in sports. The Alexei Yashin saga has sort of brought the whole salary cap issue to a forefront. People are saying, okay, you know, maybe athletes should only make a certain amount of money. There are salary caps in football and in basketball. Baseball and hockey do not have them, and it may be no coincidence that those are the two sports where the salaries are getting to be a little outrageous. Before I ask you if you think there should be a salary cap on athletes, do you feel there should be a salary cap on owners who make 10 times as much as the athletes?
Oh, who are you asking?
Ron. He looked like he was ready to answer.
Yeah.
You think there should?
I think that.
So how do we do that?
I think that, well, of course, the whole thing is revenue generation, for one thing. And I think that these owners have an obligation to return some of the funding back into the sport itself, back into the minor leagues, back into training programs, back into Little League stadiums or hockey rinks. Look at ice time, for crying out loud.
Let's cap everybody then.
Yeah, yeah. And return that money into the sport itself. For the love of the sport, if I may use that term again. Look at the ice time situations that we have right here in western Manitoba, across Canada. Kids are screaming for ice time for hockey. Why? Who can afford to build these rinks? They're expensive stuff. Here's so-and-so and so-and-so sitting there that owns a hockey team or a baseball team or a football team, making gazillions of dollars, you know, and is about as interested in the sport as I am of flying to the moon. There.
Okay,
There.
okay.
There.
It comes down to entertainment now, because they're saying that's what sports is now.
Sports entertainment.
Entertainment, okay? Do we cap Sylvester Stallone?
Yes, absolutely.
Do we cap Tom Cruise? Do we cap
all of them? I mean, first of all, it's a huge societal problem that we all think that they're worth so much money in the first place. That's the pathetic thing about society. I mean, who cares what Arnold Schwarzenegger is? I mean, he got a $100 million jet for doing Terminator 2. The studio couldn't pay him enough.
When
they
he
gave
gets
him
a
a
$100 million jet and Paul Correa gets $10 million a year, Paul Correa doesn't seem as overpaid to me.
Okay, maybe not, but the whole problem is they're playing a game for a living. They get to play a game for a living.
But then actors are acting and they've got
that's the whole point.
Lower paid stunt people doing their hard work.
That's the whole point. All of that thing, we glorify it all and we pay them all too much.
Come on, Paul Correa has to go in the corner, and if his head is down, he could lose his life, like Mike Medano. Let's go back to that. I mean, he's getting paid $8 million, and if his neck would have snapped...
Yeah, but so's a policeman, for crying out loud.
Exactly.
Well,
We get, and you know,
A
I have to
policeman
agree there,
doesn't
we get
make
policemen
that
making
kind of money.
$30,000 a year, they're getting shot at.
Exactly, exactly. We talked about this earlier. Wouldn't you rather see that money go towards our teachers who are educating our future, or nurses who are saving people's lives, instead of some silly actor that's showing up on a screen that you pay $8 for an hour and a half of entertainment of your life?
But sports, I mean, the money's there. What are you going to do with it? You're just going to give it all to the owner?
No, absolutely not.
This is what I'm saying, because I think this is where I have a problem, is when you're saying, when you're capping the players, all you're doing is lining owners' pockets full of money, which I don't think is right either.
No, the only way that
there's gotta be
a salary cap will work is when the owners and the general managers stop the bidding war for free agents. That's the only way that'll stop for the players themselves. But that's not going to happen, because I don't think they're interested in that. I think they really like getting the high-priced player.
And are we more touchy-feely on this particular subject because it's Canada and the Jets no longer have a team, and Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver maybe
small
on the way?
markets, exactly. Why should the small market communities suffer just because we can't afford the $10 million players? I mean, if they want to play the game, then they should be there to play the game. And we should be able to pay them a equitable amount that they get paid in LA or in New York or in New Jersey. I don't know. I don't think it's fair. I think there should be levels.
They got to
Seniority
have
or
a level
something.
playing field here, guys. That's all there is to it.
But it's too out of whack. We'll never fix it now.
So maybe the owners should share their revenue. Maybe that's...
There should be, you know, my plan, the Thompson plan, is for revenue sharing amongst the teams. There's, of course, just like in society, salary cap, absolutely. But there should be a sharing between the haves and the have-nots because of the population base. You know, Winnipeg, 700,000 people, for crying out loud. Toronto, 2 million. Montreal, you know, your bigger teams, you know, in order for them to generate the revenue in Winnipeg, look at what's happened. Your ticket prices go out of sight. There should be a sharing of revenues. Also, some of that money should go back into the minor leagues and into training programs for the young people of the country.
I don't agree with that completely. Like, look at the simple fact. If you're a businessman, you own, just say, a restaurant.
Yeah.
Would you want to be giving your money back to the cooking schools for training these guys to go up and be chefs to work at your restaurant?
Well, it depends. If
You
you
know
had
what?
to
There
pay
are
$1 million
some
to get
that
them.
do that. I know, for instance, there are, just as an example, accounting firms give out scholarships to prospective accounting, future accountants.
True enough, but do you, if you have put a cap on it, I mean, you're still going to make a lot of money. Are you going to take just say a third or a quarter of your revenue you make in a year and inject it in a school? It's your business. It's your business. Whoever owns that team has the right to put it in his pocket.
That's the cost of ownership. You're making a schwack of money as it is, for crying out loud.
But you're investing a schwack of money to put it in.
Well, of course you are.
So you're just going to make a small cut?
Okay, let's do it another way. Let's just take the interest of this money that they're putting in.
You know, time's up.
What? We're just getting going
I want to keep going, but because you guys want to talk about sex, I have to go to do a commercial break. That's exactly what we're going to talk about. This is Sports Returns. You may remember we had a little billboard earlier in the show, had a little tidbit on it. If you remember what that was, now is your time to call to win a free pizza courtesy of Domino's.
Schwack.
Schwack is done.
I want to